Hey, I'm glad you've come to join me again. Today I'm on my porch. I really needed some sunshine, so bringing you out on the porch with me. This is another part of my series for withdrawal recovery, and it is about fear and the fear of not healing. I'm doing a series on the symptoms in withdrawal, and I consider this a symptom in withdrawal. So stay tuned, and I'll talk with you about what that fear is like, and just more what it was like for me, and then the truth about withdrawal. So if you find my videos helpful and would like to meet with me, I'd love to meet with you. You can click on the link in the description to find my website, and on there I have an email list. You can look at my calendar and sign up for a time to see me. You can join my email list to, just get alerted about my videos and blogs. And you can also, you could even meet with me for a 15-minute chat just for free if you would like to. So those are some of my offerings for you, but just stay tuned in this video as we talk about fear and withdrawal. So I had a very brutal withdrawal. I was on multiple SSRIs and SNRI over the course of 10 years, and I went off of them very abruptly. Now I know that it was abrupt. One of them I went through a 6 weeks taper, but it was a very bad taper. Now that I have learned about what is the appropriate way to taper, not based on mainstream medicine, but based on all of the evidence through those who have survived and healed through this withdrawal process off of psychiatric medicine. The other one was an SNRI, and I stopped it abruptly through just bad information. And yeah, I survived both of those, and it was pretty horrific. I had a lot of symptoms. I needed a lot of support and time, and I'm doing really well now. So I am just really glad to offer my story and anything I've learned to be able to help you through this. And I was very helped through people, through online coaching, through watching videos and hearing about survivor stories and people who've gone through this and then lived flourishing lives afterwards. So I'm just here to pay it forwards and help you through your day today. And so just know that you can heal, and that there can be so much life after this. And it might feel like this is the end of your life, and that there's no good ahead, but that's not true. This is not going to last forever. So when I was going through withdrawal, one of the groups I was part of was Angie Peacock's healing recovery group for pause. And I would meet with them weekly through Zoom, and it was really encouraging and really helpful. But one of the things I learned from her that really helped me was that having the fear that you're never going to heal is actually a symptom. So everybody that she sees has that fear. So being part of a hard withdrawal process, if you're experiencing a lot of symptoms and it feels debilitating, it's interrupting your life, it feels like it's taking away who you are, your personality, your joys, your motivations, your ability to focus and get things done. If you're experiencing that, you're experiencing something very acute, an acute withdrawal, then you're probably also wondering, will I ever heal? And this thought may seem personal. So it may seem like to you like, oh, I'm not going to heal because X, Y, or Z. It might be because, oh, I was on for so long, and so my case is uniquely horrible and I couldn't possibly heal. Or, oh, it's because I was on multiple meds. Or, oh, it's because I tapered really badly. Or, oh, it's because I tapered badly multiple times, or whatever it is. Your mind is going to latch on to some reason, and you're going to be like, there must be no evidence that I could heal. I must be completely and uniquely doomed. So your brain is going to tell you that because your brain is really suffering right now. You're really struggling to find a way to cope and to have hope. And so what you need to do with that is just be like, all right, my brain is telling me I'm not going to heal. that is a symptom. Now, what are the evidences that I am going to heal? And then you rehearse those to yourself. So the one is, this is a symptom. Being afraid I'm not going to heal is a symptom. And then whatever else of evidence that you know of about healing, just keep repeating that to yourself to encourage yourself along the way. And even if you don't totally believe it, that's okay. Just keep going back to those truths, and eventually you're going to be able to believe the truth. So let's see, what are some other evidences? So you might be able to find some survivor stories that are similar to you. Those could be evidences. You might be able to read about how withdrawal is a limited experience. Even though it can be all-consuming, it doesn't last forever. So whatever you can read about, listen to, any of those resources that give you truth and hope, just keep putting those in front of yourself, and that will help you along the way to not lose hope. Your hope may feel like it's really brought down to the bare minimum, and that's okay. If you're not believing you're going to heal, that's okay. But just keep exposing yourself to those healing stories and those healing people. And then even the people in your life who are helping you through this. Reassurance is a big part of that role. And so you can even tell them, that you need reassurance is like the number one thing that you need, that you're going to heal. And it doesn't invalidate how horrible it is to go through this, but your hope is not gone, no matter how bad it is. So it might be excruciating, and maybe so much of your capacity that you've had before is gone, but that is temporary. Withdrawal is a temporary condition, and it is your whole central nervous system is like in a reboot, almost as if you've had a brain injury. It's pretty similar to that. You're like in a recovery where your nervous system is trying to get back to a stability, and your nerve endings are growing, and your production systems for all of the happy hormones and dopamine and serotonin and everything are relearning how to do their job. And that might take time. That doesn't mean that it's failing to happen. It just means it takes time. And so it takes a lot of reassurance and patience. So I also like to compare it to the nervous system of an infant or a baby, because I had babies and they are very demanding, and they're very lovely, but they're very demanding. And so a baby needs like lots of like holding and comfort and encouragement, and then like reassurance, and they need that contact with their mother or with their caregiver, of hearing their heartbeat and their breathing. And so it's like a co-regulating that happens between a caregiver and an infant. And the infant then becomes, their nervous system matures and their mind matures, and they become more able to do on their own. That's kind of like the growing up process. And so it's almost like you have to think of your nervous system as, because of this injury, it became like an infant again. And so you might feel like you are ridiculous for how much you need to be comforted, and like you have completely lost your mind and your personality. Maybe you were like very independent or very confident, or maybe you had some anxiety, but you could get your job done at work, and like people could count on you, and you're like, I have lost all of my abilities. I've lost myself. I have derailed into complete and total oblivion and dysfunction. And so you might feel afraid that that's permanent. It's temporary. It's like having the flu, or it's an injury. It's like an illness, but it's something that your body can recover from. It's just unusual and hard for many people to conceptualize. So you have to give yourself time, and just like a child like needs a lot of comfort and encouragement and reassurance and patience, and then eventually they're off and running, so like it's a pretty high demand at the beginning, but then eventually they're off and running and doing a lot on their own. And so you're kind of like in that process of your nervous system recovering. And then within, it may take months, it may take a year, but within time, you're going to be back to your normal, like just adult self, and your nervous system will be healed. And so it just takes that time. But right now it's like you're in this injury kind of puts you into like an infant nervous system situation, and so it's very unnerving, and it feels permanent because it's lasting so long, but it's not permanent. It's just a longer recovery than what we would like. So I just want to encourage you to hang in there, to know that it isn't over and good things are coming for you, and your fears themselves are part of your recovery.